We got most of our, well, I was going to say drone. It wasn't a drone. We had a lot of people show up today, especially considering it was so rainy and disgusting out. Early part of the morning was rain. It let up around 9. The track was a little sticky. We still went out with most of the Lexington horses, plus any of the horses where clients were there that had ownership in the horses. It was good to see Jonathan Guardhouse come out. He owns a horse we're going to be talking about, I would imagine, in the near future, in Rito Sunshine. This is a Sunshine Beach colt that we have at the barn. Anybody that's been at the barn lately knows who we're talking about. This is a good-looking colt. Jonathan just wants to be a little conservative and see how the sale results come up for the Sunshine Beaches and price his horse accordingly, which is only smart. Oliver. What else? So yeah, the weather was kind of crummy out, and it was tough. It was tough to get them out. I mean, obviously, the biggest concern is this. You know, we just broke these horses. Some of them just got gated up. The ones that were broke a week before. To go out in the mud, have the mud hitting them everywhere, hitting the jog cart. Some of them can get a little wound up and a little anxious. We didn't have any mishaps today, which was good. Lots of mud on our faces, but no mishaps. So we got through the day. I think we went with about 20 or 22. Kelly took lots of pictures, so they'll be up on the website, I assume, this weekend sometime. Maybe some of them today. What else do we got going on? We had some horses coming back this week. Brush Cut is coming back. Emerald Miss is back. Both those horses are at Kevin McMaster's barn right now. Rooney Blue Chip's back. He's at Kevin McMaster's barn also. Kevin was really down on horses. Harry's got about 12 there. He's got a couple that got to leave. So as horses come back in, Sebastian Yu, Rose Run Versatile will be needing a spot for them. I'll Play It Alone. We'll likely go back to Jason. Miss Mischief Maker, Bottle of Red, Hometown Boys. I'm thinking they're going to be looking towards Kevin McMaster's barn also. So a lot going on with the horses coming back in. Now the horses going out, I told you guys I would give you an update on the turnout. So I thought the easiest way to do it, because we have a lot turned out. We have upwards of 40 horses that are 2 coming 3. Many of those horses are turned out and are going to be coming back in. Many of those horses are coming back in soon. And those were the ones I mentioned. Hometown Boys, Brush Cut, Bottle of Red, Miss Mischief Maker, Emerald Miss, and Rooney Blue Chip they are in the barn right now, or they are coming back very, very soon. The end of the month, I'm looking at Muscle Chrome, I'll Play It Alone, Sebastian Yu, and Rose Run Versatile to come back. What barns are we going to? Well, obviously, I'll Play It Alone. We'll go back to Jason's barn. Muscle Chrome, possibly back to Mario's barn. I don't know yet. Depends how many yearlings Mario ends up with in the top barn, and then when the 2-year-olds will be going out. Keep in mind, he still has Sunshine and Shade, Frontier Cruise, Enduring Strength is up there. Who else up there? Wiggle Delight, Miss Brampton Beast. Those horses aren't done going at it at the racetrack for another 3-4 weeks, so we'll see if there's some overlap there. Other horses we have going out now. I talked to Doug Brown exclusively about taking some horses to Florida. Doug rides for Dustin Jones in the morning, and you know, would rather have some of his own horses there. He had 1 or 2, he hoped, and Doug does a great job. Obviously, I don't have to tell anybody about Doug Brown, and for the people that say, oh well, he just, you know, he was a driver, he also ran a stable too and is a good horseman, and puts a lot of care and effort into the horses. So we're going to be sending Doug Brown, Really Blue Chip, and Arctic Force. The reason being, both those horses ended up with foot issues where they weren't chronic, they were manageable, but training them down on a frozen track in Ontario as opposed to a softer track might make more sense for them. The concussion itself usually helps the horses stiffen their feet up, but when you have horses that are susceptible and prone to deep bruising in their feet, you might want to err on the side of caution. And when it comes to Arctic Force and Really Blue Chip, makes sense. They're going to Florida. You know, Doug does a great job and was looking for some horses, so we're going to send him those 2 horses for 2-3 months to get trained back. They'll probably be leaving next month, first part of the month, around November 8th. So John Boot Chain, we're going to be sending Spirit of Dio down there for a very similar reason as to Arctic Force and Really Blue Chip, that susceptible to, 1, bruising in their feet. Secondly, this is a filly that just giant filly. She doesn't need to train back on a half-mile track when she's already a pretty big girl to begin with, and she doesn't get around a half good, so why poke the bear, right? Let's let her train down good. John Boutonchain, she is a New Jersey bred. Spirit of Dio is. So why not have her with a trainer that can get to know her, train her back for us, and then in turn be employed to train her on the East Coast when she comes back. So New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, I know John is stabled at Wind Gap, Irv Miller's farm, and which is pretty central, close to the Meadowlands, close to Philadelphia, close to the Poconos. So you get where I'm going with this. Lots of racing for Spirit of Dio, especially in her jurisdiction of New Jersey. It only made sense, so that's likely where she'll go. Now, as far as staking her to other things that are a little more Grand Circuit, which we're hoping she's good enough for, and it looks like she has the speed for, then that's something we'll do, and we always have our trainers here. You know, Jason did a great job with her, obviously winning her last start with her here in Ontario. Now, the one hiccup is trying to find a spot for knockdown dragout. Obviously, this is a contentious issue. This is a contentious issue. Amy is one of those people that will not pass on the shoulder. I just learned that about you. It's gravel. You were doing 8 kilometers an hour.
You're not supposed to.
I didn't know you weren't supposed to pass on the shoulder. Why would they have it there?
It's not paved.
I don't actually think that's a thing, but
Well, you can Google it.
I don't have to Google it. It's not a rule or a law. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we don't have a trainer for knockdown dragout yet. I reached out to Nifty Norman today. He said he didn't think he'd be able to help us out. Now, this is a filly that, you know, put yourself in Nifty Norman's shoes. What the hell does he care about a Sebastian K filly that's supposed to be fast? He doesn't. So whether he was full or not, he couldn't take her. He couldn't commit to her. So he didn't. The Aki Svansted's name was thrown around by some of our clients. Whether she goes to New Jersey or Philadelphia, I'd like to set the filly up, one, with an experienced horseman, especially one that's used to dealing with trotters. So obviously Aki Svanstedt would do. Sure, we use John Boutonchain, but I want to make sure that our clients are comfortable with where this horse is going. This is a big deal for us. We want to make sure we get it right. There's obviously some kinks and some knots to work out of knockdown. Geez, that's big. Some knots to work out of knockdown dragout, and the place she goes is going to play a pivotal role in that. So over the next week, again, she's turned out for a little bit right now, so it's not the end of the world. We have time before we have to decide, well, we're going to send her here, we're going to send her there. So we'll take our time with that over the next week. Other clients are going to say, well, why don't we have the option to do this? Everybody's an option. I mean, if I had to make a decision right now, I would. But at the same time, I'd like to hear from our clients. It's not just, people sending me emails and texts. Just because I don't do as you think we should, certainly doesn't mean I don't appreciate the effort, and I certainly don't appreciate the email. I do. I understand for somebody to take the time to write out an email, send it to me. That means a lot to me. Obviously, I'm not trying to hide from emails, and certainly I think I write and exchange correspondence with as many clients as anybody in the world, and I'm happy to do that. But I will make the final decision when it comes to where knockdown dragout will go. But I do want to hear from our clients, and that goes for you out there also. If you're a client and owner of Arctic Forest or really Blue Chip, I'm happy to explain why I believe Doug Brown's a good fit. Very small stable, focus a lot on their ailments and issues, tons of experience, great horseman. I mean, pretty hard to go wrong. He's not racing the horses. Doug isn't racing them. He's just training them back, and it could be the beginning of a great relationship as far as our horses are concerned. If we have horses that are training back that aren't what I would say their training regimen isn't conducive to what they need here in Ontario, then having that availability to send them to somebody that's affiliated closely with the stable is important. So when it comes to Doug Brown and really Blue Chip and Arctic Forest, it's really just a matter of I want to make sure that they both get focused on, and not that anybody wouldn't, but having a smaller stable and a lot more time on your hands means a lot more can get done than if you're in a bigger stable, especially when you're talking about turnout situation or coming back from a turnout. I'd like to have constant updates to know what's going on, and I know I can pick the phone up and talk to Doug. He's easy to talk to. So, you know, and heaven forbid, I mean, there may be times this winter where I may have to go down and check in on the horses in Florida. I mean, it's my job.
You guys don't have any horses in Florida?
Yeah, we do. We're going to send 4 or 5 horses to Florida. 4 horses to Florida.
Can we go there and then go?
Jeez, I'd love to, but it's so expensive, the plane tickets these days, Ava. Oh, I'll have to look into it. Maybe I'll start, for every time you clean the house up or behave or be good, I'll give you, I don't know, 50 cents or $1. That's 600 times. You can probably get a return ticket. So let's try time number 1, going to our in-laws to eat turkey dinner. Huh? That's right, we're going to Collingwood. Heading down to Collingwood to have some Thanksgiving
With
dinner.
our cousins.
With their cousins and our in-laws.
Your in-laws.
My in-laws, yeah, they're just your immediate family.
Yeah.
Right, I see where you're going. I rarely get to see Amy's family because I'm always racing or doing something. And it just happened that we had nothing on the go today. So I'm glad to go down here and spend some time with the Lahids and eat some turkey. So that's what we're doing with the turnouts. I've told you about the horses coming back. Now, we had some horses racing this week. Had a great week. Obviously, I was floored with Brave World winning the preferred handicap at Mohawk. Great job with him. Obviously, Richard does a good job with those aged horses, and he really has. Both him and Louis are doing a great job with Lincoln or with Brave World. Horse that really, I don't know why he surprised me. He's just such a classy horse. Lincoln James. 1 fast mile in 30 days, and by a fast mile, Harry might have trained in what, 210? Ollie, 210, and paced 51-2. Last quarter, 26-4. Last half at 53-4. Those aren't numbers that anybody could. That's Trackus. That's legit. And I was so surprised when wheeled out of the last turn. He was going to pace right through his harness again. Just such a tough horse. Not the soundest horse in the world. He's had some issues over the last year. He's sound right now, and he's good right now. We do have him in to go in Harrisburg. I mean, he's 8 years old now, so he's going to do a lot of good for somebody. But what we bought him for didn't work out. What we needed him for didn't come to fruition. But at the same time, such a really, really nice and tough horse to drive, and he raced fantastic this week. Cruising in Style got picked off. I know he got a little weak on the end of it and got picked off in 53-3. But one, it's good that he finished second. He fits that class again. Secondly, he's been racing on smaller tracks, Yonkers and whatnot. That big long stretch in the Meadowlands just gobbled him up a little bit. Second beat, a head, a neck, 53-3, but raced good. He's been very, very good all year for us, that horse. Another little glimmer of hope, White Tiger qualified fantastic. We took him off Lasix. Now, I don't want to go beating the drum of, oh, we fixed him, oh, it must have been in the Lasix. Let's hold on a second. He trotted in 54, 55, 55, and he won in 56 on Lasix. So this idea that Lasix somehow caused White Tiger this dramatic, sluggish summer, I'll stop short of saying it's unlikely. It's possible. It's very rare. Let's put it that way. It's very rare. So we'll see if White Tiger bounces back good. I planned on taking him home, resting him, and getting him ready for the winter. But after his qualifier, Tim asked that we race him one more time, and I'm happy to oblige. I mean, it's not like we have a lot waiting for him here. Guys, stop. It's not like we have a lot waiting for him here. So when he said, Mike said the horse qualified well, obviously I had no issue saying, yeah, go ahead and race him. Hopefully he can do good, put together some good races, and then we'll see where it goes from there. If not, back to the drawing board, we'll turn him out for a little bit and give him some time. Give a what?
Your seatbelt's not on.
Yeah, no, it's an airbag. It's all right. So, we talked about that, and what else went on this week? We schooled Oso Pine. We're going to qualify him next week. Then I have him slated to maybe go to Carmen's Barn. Nothing wrong with Jason. Jason's done a tremendous job for this stable and continues to do a great job. I'm really just trying to kill some time until we get all our Ohio breds back in. But you know, Oso Pine, I want to keep him on his toes, right? I don't want him falling back into any slumps. It looked like he was making some headway in Illinois, and I want to continue that trend forward. So I think probably we'll school him, Jason and I'll school him on Thursday, and then I'll have Carmen pick him up and put him in to go the week after. As I was saying to one of our clients today who was asking about Oso Pine, you know, they don't want to lose Oso Pine because he is still just a 3-year-old. I said, you're right, he is growing. But at the same time, racing 3-year-old horses and aged horses is pretty simple. It's hard sometimes, but at the same time, the classification should be easy. Put them in where they can win. And if that means that only Oso Pine can only race in a 15 claimer, so be it. He has 50% allowance at Mohawk right now, which makes it $22,500 to claim him plus taxes. First of the year, he loses 25% of that. So there's a lot of money given away between now and the end of the year. I think it's late enough in the year where people might lay off him, and that's assuming he can beat the 15 claimer. We need to find a class he can win. We may start him in the non-winners at 3,000 and work him back into the claiming schedule. We'll see. Everything's on the table in regards to Oso Pine, but we will qualify him next week. Carmen had maintenance man to the vet the other day. Thought that his splint was biting at him a little bit. I believe it might have shocked that splint. Carmen's going to put him back in to go next week, I believe at Mohawk. Brave World one. Stonebridge Simba threw a real stinker in the other day, didn't he? He raced terrible. That was the first time, I think maybe first or second time he had missed a check at all in 2019 in a class where we all hoped and thought he'd do good at the Meadowlands, because although he's a small horse, he does run in, and big sweeping turns to the Meadowlands, a little bit of a softer class for him. Geez, I really thought he'd be good. He ended up in the first over slot and looked horrendous. John said he was a little bit sick. His white count was up, and he started him on antibiotics. Road Tripper raced for his first time back. He looked terrible the other night. Little flat on the end of it, trot a mile 58. You could say he was a little short, I suppose. Popped a little quarter crack. This horse's feet, tell you what, they really bother him. We're going to make a little shoeing change for next week and then see if we can get him back on track. I was a little deflated over the way he raced the other night. This is a horse that I waited longer than I've ever waited for a horse on this horse, and we're really trying to get him good and keep him good. He was so good when we stopped with him last time. I just thought he'd come back like a bearcat, and he was poor the other night. So we'll see how he races in his next start. His first start back, I'm going to cut him lots of slack. I love the horse, and I think he's got lots to do still. So let's see where we can go from here with that. Ava, stop. Caviar's Triumph was 4th. What, honey?
What about Momo?
Ava, stop. Talk about Momo later, honey. Caviar's Triumph finished 4th in the 15 claimer. He actually raced pretty good. A little bit of a lunatic in the post parade. Really put me through my paces. I was winded by the time I went to the race, so we got to change his bit a little bit. I'm not racing him like that. I know, you know, at the farm, Kevin can train him no problem, but when you come to the track and you put him in the post parade and into race, in the mile, 2 fingers, getting him to that point, not so fun. So Caviar's Triumph raced good. I think Kevin's going to try and have him back in to go. I think he said something about Flamborough on Thursday. I'm going to be busy at both tracks. I don't know where I can go, who I can drive. Maybe start the night at Flamborough, but probably unlikely. Yes, also a little flat in his last start. Finished 5th, trotted 55 in Philadelphia. Irv told me that he thought there was some redness in his airway and that he was a little under the weather. So his next start will be, I lied to everybody, I'm sorry, I said it was this weekend he was racing. I thought Irv said he was going to have him ready for that stake race next week in Indiana. I just assumed, hey, he'll have a prep race for him, but he didn't, so he'll probably qualify him, school him, or train him up big at his farm. Coming off that little the flat race of last time, maybe he did want to give him a little extra time anyway. So that's yes. West 52nd. Now, I was a little angry. I'm watching the TV, and I see him almost pull up at the quarter pole the other way. He did that once or twice as a 2-year-old on the end of the mile. I've never seen him act like that at the beginning of the mile. They had changed his bridle to an aviator, and aviator's like a see-through blind bridle. Might sound stupid, but it does work on a lot of horses. And I think West 52nd got loose on the front, had all this stuff to look at, and just dawdled and ended up getting parked. Finished third, race gritty that way. And he's in to go this week. Now, Ryan Stahl's down to drive him. I had reached out to Pam and Dan and said, I can go and drive West 52nd next week. So let's see how Ryan does with him. on Tuesday. If it doesn't work out, then I'll be down to drive him next week. It's not the end of the world. It's a 4.5 hour drive from my house to Northfield, so it's not the end of the world. Totally Tactor raced good, 59 last quarter, 29. Quite an improvement from the disastrous mile from the week before where you couldn't steer him, and James said he was all over the track. I don't know what to say. He was straight as a string when I drove him the other night. Needs to get stronger. Seemed a little weak in his stifles. I think the vet was going to put a little blister on his stifles for next week. And we'll see how he races. But obviously, everybody says, well, he went in 59. Whoa, pump your brakes there, fella. 59-2 last quarter, 29, or whatever it was. 7th lifetime start. First start off a layoff. This is a big, giant trotter with 7 lifetime starts. The 7th was the other night off of a qualifier and off of a rest. Of course, raced fine. Was very happy with the way Totally Tactor raced. 5-run homer. A lot of people asked, what are we doing? And you have agreed to be. We have to either qualify him or race him next Thursday. I believe Kevin said there's a class for him next Thursday evening at Flamborough, which is good. We had those curbs crowd, gave him the proper amount of time, and he'll be in to go next Thursday. Final answer, made a break at the gate. I'll qualify him myself next Thursday. I was happy to this Thursday, but he got in with Casanova's Jewel. They get in together. And I said, well, final answer's been good since Jared brought him back. Jason Ryan's available. Jason can go with him. But Cass is a little trickier horse. I went with the one that I thought I had to go with. Clearly, I was incorrect. Well, I was correct in the fact that Casanova's Jewel, I got him around, but final answer is going to need one more qualifier. Probably won't hurt him anyway. We'll qualify him next Thursday. As I said, Casanova's Jewel qualified. Really bumpy. Geez, that horse is really starting to frustrate me a little bit. We're going to have to do a little work on him and put him in to go at Flamborough or London next week and see if we can't get him around. He was trotting the turns good. Straightaways he was having an issue with. Leads me to believe left hind up high, maybe a stifle or something. We'll get him checked out before he races next time. Arvika was racing great and didn't get in to go this week, so she'll be hopefully back in to go Thursday. I didn't see if the class was written. They usually write the nominators at 20. They write the nominators at 20 twice a week, and obviously anybody can see that Arvika is sitting on a win. She's just got to get she got the right trip. Everything worked out good the other night, but 56 flat last quarter and 29-4 is what she can do right now, and that's exactly what she did. Cruising with Angus is back going. For those of you who haven't pulled all your hair out and are not bald yet with this horse, he is back going now. They crowd his lag 2 weeks ago. He's back jogging and training. Kevin knows that there is a tiny bit of pressure to get this guy back to the track. We need to get moving with him. He's well beyond his shelf life date as far as his injury passes have been exhausted for right now. So there is a sale coming up, and if Cruising with Angus can't put his stuff together, I probably won't make this sale, but we'll give him an opportunity to prove me wrong. And then if it doesn't work out, he'll be in the January sale. There'll be a couple of horses in that January sale possibly also. Big news, Canadian Titan finished second in the final of the grassroots finals. That's only twice she missed the top two. Once she missed the top three, and that was a very unfortunate, uncharacteristic break. Raced great in the final, second in 57. Put together 50-some thousand, I think. 54, 55,000 for her 2-year-old year. That was a great year for Canadian Titan. Globe Trotting schooled the other day, had a little vet work done on her. She'll be as tight as we can have her. I think she's going to be coming into her Breeders' Crown elimination. 2 things. Ready to go, sharp. 3 things. Long shot. So, I said this the other day, and I want to make sure that everybody understands what I'm trying to say. I'm certainly not trying to poke fun or... what are you doing in here, babe?
I want to go to the beer store.
Oh, okay, right. Poke fun at Globe Trotting. She's been our best horse, I think, without a doubt. I think it's safe to say our best horse of 2019. 155,000 or something made, mark of 56. And regardless of what she does next week in the Breeders' Crown elimination, she owes us nothing, and she's given us one hell of a ride for 2019. I know she has me, especially since I was the one technically riding her. So, been very, very happy with her. Peanut, a lot of people asking about Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. How is he? Is he healthy? Is he feeling? Schooled him in 59 the other day. He looked great. John Evans loves Peanut, obviously, and his daughter, Julia, does. Do you want to get me some of those things?
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, thank you. His daughter, Julia, loves Peanut also, and hold on. His daughter loves her, and he was really, really happy to hear that he schooled well. He's going in, him and Sunshine and Shade are both coming in a little short or a little off themselves. Sunshine and Shade was sick the other day. We're going to treat him up and race him accordingly next Thursday. And then Peanut obviously coming in a little bit short off of a pretty good dose of sickness. Missed a lot of time, and it really sucked some of the life out of him. So let's see if we can breathe some life into him. Next Thursday night, Frontier Cruise. Somebody said, oh, he raced terrible. No, he didn't. It's the first time he hasn't raced on a half-mile track in a while. We wanted to stretch him out. I wasn't going to take him back to last. I've seen that movie before. You know, he needs to be up in the hunt. I crossed him over. You know, we get jammed up in the last turn a bit. Down the lane, he get out, past the horse that was in front of him. What do you want from the horse? 55-1. He paced last quarter in 29 a bit. Looked okay doing it. I think you'll see a much improved Frontier Cruise next week. Enduring Strength, again, here's a horse that was sick in his semifinals elimination, made it into the finals, finished 8th, trotted in 58-29 in the end of it. Still a little bit of residual sickness there. Mario trained him yesterday, looked great. I'll drive him Thursday night at Mohawk in the Harvest Series. So we'll have Frontier Cruise, Peanut, Enduring Strength, Sunshine and Shade. What else is going? Anybody else? Those 4 for sure. Well, Totally Tactor's going to race in the Maiden. Arvika might race in the Nommers of 2 if they write it. So we could have lots on the go for next Thursday, not counting qualifiers. Schoolers racing at Flamborough. Next Thursday is going to be a busy day here at thestable.ca. So that was the racing. We now have, after Monday, where we have some other horses coming in, there'll be 52 yearlings in the barn. Obviously, some of them haven't hit the site yet. Arriving Monday will be Need Your Opinions Brother by Better Than Cheddar. Rito Sunshine, as I talked about a couple of times, he still hasn't hit the board just yet. And Bob's got 3 horses coming in. 2 are coming in this week. Actually, I think we have to go pick them up. So there's 5 yearlings right there that aren't on the board that have to go on the board soon. And a couple other ones are coming also. So between sales and the board, we have 52 horses. I had somebody say to me, hey, could you do like a top 10 list of your yearlings? Absolutely not. I can't do that. I mean, it's very difficult for me to tell you which ones are better than the other ones. Nobody knows that. And there's no way to know that. I can tell you which ones broke well, you know, stuck out in my mind that looked impressive. But even that would be a little unfair because some of the ones that break bad and are a little stubborn end up being our best horses. So nobody was more stubborn than Trafalgar last year. And aside from the injury she had, I didn't mention her yet. Aside from the injury she had, looked like she was poised to have a fantastic 2019. We'll see if we can build on that a little bit towards the end of the year. She's getting very, very close. Harry's been in 210, I believe, with her. We'll probably train her in the race bike in 2-3 and then school her a week from Thursday. We talked about all the racehorses, talked about everything. Now, another thing, from time to time, I'll have people message me and say, hey, you know, I train at the Meadows, or I train in Illinois, or I train wherever, and, you know, we're always just, we'd love to do something with the stable. And I know that everybody, for somebody to take the time to write me a message about wanting to do business with the stable, it kind of warms my heart a little bit, right? One, it makes me believe that there really is horsemen out there that want to change. Horsemen that want to be more open and transparent. Horsemen that want to do things differently, whether they see the success that we have or whether they've just decided that they need a better way. It's great to see people reach out and say, hey, I would like to work with you guys. You know, if anything comes up, let me know. I have a buddy of mine, one of my very, very good friends. Hey, stop, honey. One of my very, very good friends, Dominic Gladue, trains out of Quebec. His father drove in the amateur races, and he's passed away since. Just a great, great man. He drove in the amateur races, and Dominic went to school and worked in the weekends in the barn, and I was full-time working as a groom at the time in Montreal. And I got to know Dominic really well, and he's a great horseman. He's had a lot of good luck over the years. And you know, he had said to me, he says, you know, I'm going to come up here for the winter. I'm going to try and spend some time with my family, obviously, in Quebec, and then try and make a go of you know, there's not a lot of racing, zero racing in Quebec in the winter. So he said, I have racehorses. What am I supposed to do? I'm going to come up here. He said, I got some babies that we bred, and I got some other babies who we bought. He said, I'd love to be able to get some people to come on board and own these horses with us. We hear this story all the time too, and I always want to, you know, reach out to our clients and give them other opportunities too. And if you're in Quebec, in the Quebec area, I don't quote me on this. I think it's close to Joliet, but I'm not positive. Where Dominic stabled and lives at, his own farm there, very small trainer, hands-on. And if you're in Quebec and it's not a long commute for you, I know that Dominic is looking for possibly some people to buy into some of the horses he has. Some of them are Quebec breds, some of them are Ontario breds, I believe. But they're all broken jogging now, and he would love to go to Harrisburg and buy a horse or two also. So if you live in Quebec, which and I can give you the address of his farm, and so don't quote me on that, but I know I think it's Joliet, I'm not positive. If you're in Quebec and you know Dominic, you've heard of him, or you haven't heard of him at all, but the proposition is interesting. There's no affiliation there other than he's a friend of mine, but he is looking for people that would like to partner up on a couple of horses with him. So I don't often push other trainers, and I don't often push other institutions, other stables, but at the same time, he is a good friend of mine, and I'll help out if I can. So if you're out there and you want to maybe own a piece of a couple of horses in Quebec, a good buddy of mine and a good horseman, Dominic Ledoux, would be happy to accommodate you. So that's it for the opening. I talked about all the horses. I talked about the ones coming back. I talked about how proud I was of Lincoln James. White Tiger gave me a little smile on my face this week. Cruising in Style just got picked off last night. And then, of course, Brave World was awesome in winning the preferred handicap. I know that Mitch does a great job and loves the horse, and very happy that he raced well for Richard, Louie, and Mitch. And he's racing tonight. So, hope for some luck again. Anyway, I'll throughout the weekend, I'll do some more videos talking about the stables, talking about the babies, talking about what I saw over the last week. But until then, this is it. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.